Welcome to Elite Box Skills Room. Today we're going to learn how to throw the jab, okay? The jab is a very important punch in boxing, which I'm sure you've heard. And one of the main reasons it's important is because it is very versatile, which means it can be used, or shall I say, it has multiple uses. An important way the jab is used is it is a good long-range punch. It is a good long-range punch. So what that means is you're able to touch your opponent from a good, safe distance. Okay? That's the advantage. Another use of the jab is it can be used as defense. So on your way out, you can just throw it to offset your opponent or whatever it is they're trying to create. You can just throw it, so it's a defensive weapon as well. And lastly, it can also be used to trigger your opponent to do something that you want them to do, so you can take advantage of it. That's the idea. So you throw the jab, and then they make a movement or a reaction from the jab. So the multiple use of the jab makes it one of the most versatile punches in boxing and one of the most important. So there are a couple of ways to throw the jab, and there's a classic way to throw the jab. So I'm just going to touch on a couple of points you need to focus on. So from your stance, it's important that you understand that the hands and the feet are tethered together. So some people just say they're twins. So the left hand is tethered to the left foot, the right hand is tethered to the right foot. They're twins, they must move together, ideally. Obviously, during a fight or during competition, nothing can be perfect. But under perfect conditions, they must move together. Okay, so when you throw the jab, it should be lengthy and the front foot should move a little bit. Some people jump into it, which is okay sometimes, but not all the time. In my opinion, it's not all the time, because you can be timed when you jump into your jab. Some people just step a little bit with it, which I think is a better and safer option. But everything can work depending on how, when, and why you use it. So when you throw the jab, it needs to be lengthy, and it needs to also come from a rotation of your trunk as well. And then you need to also twist and rotate your wrist, so the palm is facing down at the end of the punch. Some people, they over-rotate, which is okay, because I understand that, because it means that the shoulder is now protecting the chin. So this is actually an interesting way to throw the jab. So the classic one, although it's not over-rotation, we'll touch that next. The classic one is like this. That's a classic jab. Nice and straight, the elbows are locked out. This is an elbow not locked out. This is an elbow locked out like this. This is locked out. The shoulder is protecting the chin. My backhand is still where it usually is from my stance, and I've transferred my weight from the back leg onto the front leg, and I've caught myself, I've caught my fall like so. That's a decent jab. My head is almost tucked into my shoulder. That's a classic jab. So I'll show you one more time. It should look something like this. That's a decent jab, and it's a classic jab, like so. Another jab that some people use, that I mentioned earlier, is the rotation. The reason people use that is because it gives that extra defense with your offense. So for every offense, there needs to be an embedded defense. So it's like having a trap. When you're doing something, you have a set trap within what you're already doing, okay? So I throw the jab, but I'm also conscious about my defense at the same time. So anybody who's looking to counter cannot do so. And one way to do that is by just rotating extra. Okay, so it's the same fundamentals about rotating from the hip and involving the full body. It's not just an arm punch, it's the full body. From my stance, rotate here, nice twist. And then the last one I'll do is, some people do it typically in South America, and I know in Mexico as well, is they actually just from the stance, they just push it out like that. So they don't even rotate the wrist at all. And one disadvantage of that is it doesn't give you that embedded protection, as you can see. But the advantage of this one is that it's actually faster, one, and it also breaks through the guard, because it's almost like a blade going through a guard. So the surface area is smaller, while the surface area for this, when you've rotated your fist, is larger. Like this, you're able to just go through the guard. So this is the third option, and it's a useful option as well. It's just something to know. It's good to know all these things, and whether you need to use it, it's entirely up to you. So it looks like this. That's one way to throw it. It's not that common, but a lot of people do it and it works quite well. So practice, 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 and practice makes perfect. All right.